How I went from $100,000 in debt to doing millions of dollars living in Dubai. Here are 5 mental models that I have used to transform my life over the last year and a half. Number 1 is operating with relentless speed in all aspects. And the idea here is if you're comfortable, you're likely not advancing. You need to move quickly. A huge indicator of success of any person is the delta of time between idea and execution. So if you have an idea to implement in your business, or if you have a business idea, the time from having that idea to the time you actually take action on it is the delta of time. And the lower that you can make that delta of time, the more successful you will be. And that is one thing I've noticed as I've been around more and more successful people. The time period between a good idea and them taking action is almost instant. You have to implement that in your life. You can't overanalyze. A big problem is many people will want to start in business, they'll want to be entrepreneurs, but they overanalyze and they want to have everything figured out in advance. And the reality is you're never going to have everything figured out in advance. You have to start, and everything will make sense when you look back on it from the future, but you're not going to figure out everything in advance of starting. You need to just start and things will fall as they go, and you need to move quickly and become a person of urgency in all aspects of your life. This is the type of mental framework I want you to operate with when I say you should be a person of urgency. Ask yourself, for example, how hard are you working? How much urgency are you actually operating with on a daily basis? So take that. Ask yourself, get very clear on how much urgency you operate with daily. Just to do a little thought experiment in how much urgency you're living with on a daily basis. I want you to think of a goal you have for yourself. It could be anything. Pick a goal that you have for yourself and ask yourself, how much urgency are you operating in to achieve that goal? And be honest with yourself. Get very clear on this. How much urgency are you operating with to make that goal your reality? I want you to think of somebody that you love. Could be a family member, could be your best friend, could be a sibling. But think of someone that you love. I want you to imagine that that person is going to die if you do not hit your goal in the next 2 months. And then get very clear on the difference between how hard you're actually working and the type of urgency that you would be operating if that person was going to die. And not that that person's going to die, but that is the type of urgency you need to be operating with if you're serious about making your goals happen. Because I guarantee you, there's people like myself who operate like that on a daily basis. They're going to run you over if you don't operate like that as well. And when you operate with speed, you don't have time to overthink things, which makes you appear more confident. It will make you appear more respectful. People will look at you and see you as a person of urgency and a person worth respecting because you move and operate quickly. Number 2 is trust your gut. So this is a very, very important one. And I truly believe that trusting your gut and your intuition that you have built into you is God speaking to you. And ever since I started trusting my gut, my life has changed completely. And just to give you some examples, sometimes when you have an intuitive feeling or a gut feeling about something and you share that gut feeling with other people, you'll be told you're crazy by your family, by your friends. You will then shut off that gut instinct and that intuition that you have. And that is likely a huge cause of your failure, because that intuition, that gut feeling is almost always right. And you need to learn to listen to it. And just to provide you some examples in my life of where everyone told me I was crazy, but I trust my gut, and it turned out to be an amazing decision. Number 1 was dropping out of law school 15 months ago. My family told me, oh, why don't you finish? My friends told me I was crazy. Everybody told me I was crazy, but I knew in my gut that dropping out was the thing I needed to do. I didn't want a plan B. I didn't want the degree. I wanted to have no choice but to make my business work, and that's what I did. I dropped out my final semester of law school and gave myself no choice but to succeed, and of course, I succeeded. But everyone told me I was crazy. There's been multiple instances of this. I always had a gut feeling that I should start posting online, but I never did. I ignored it. I was scared of what other people would think for no reason. As soon as I started posting online, I have close to 50,000 followers in the first 6 months of doing so. I've made a ton of money online. I've started businesses, I've created friendships, relationships, all because I started posting online, and it's literally changed my life. Had a gut feeling I should post online, ignored it for so long, finally did it, and my life completely changed. Another example, moving to Dubai. Everyone told me I was crazy, my family told me I was crazy, friends didn't understand. It's turned out again to be one of the best decisions of my life. So if you can take anything away from this, if you have a gut feeling about something, that is God speaking to you, and that is God directing you, and you need to listen to it, and you will be rewarded mightily for following those nudges and those gut instincts and intuition, and they will change your life. And the more you follow them, and the more you see yourself get rewarded, the easier they will be to follow in the future. But you have to start, you can't shut them off, and you have to actually take action on your own gut intuition because it's strong and it is almost always the correct path for you because you know you best and you know what you want. Number 3 is think bigger. And there's two things that you can really do here to think bigger. Number one is surround yourself with people who think bigger. And number two is surround yourself with places that cause you to think big. So many of you probably think, oh, I can make $10,000 a month and I'll be set with an online business. And while that can be an excellent stepping stone towards a much bigger goal, $10,000 a month is absolutely nothing. You need to be around people and places that make you realize that, because human beings naturally will revert back to what they see as normal. And for some people, living a life on welfare, on government checks is normal. And for other people, making $100 million net cash flow a year is normal. So you need to change what you define as normal. And the way you do that is surrounding yourself with people and places. So currently, if you do not have a group of friends that really push you and make you think bigger, an easy way to get around this is to listen to podcasts, read books, watch YouTube channels from people who think bigger than you. Because the more you spend time, even if it's time through reading their words in a book or listening to them speak in a podcast, their mental frameworks and ways of thinking will almost like osmosis transfer into your brain the more that you're around those thinking patterns. If you're around people who think negatively, who think slow, think lowly of themselves, have a scarce mindset, then that will also transfer to you. So you need to be very careful around the people that you surround yourself with. And if you don't have a super high-end group of friends or people who aspire to be like that you can surround yourself with in person on a daily basis, make sure that you're consuming content from people who you aspire to be like. And the other thing is places. So take a trip to the big city. Maybe you move city. Maybe you live in a small town. Maybe you need to take a bet on yourself and move to a big city where you'll naturally just think bigger. If you look around, you see skyscrapers everywhere. You see millions of dollars, all which was built from absolutely nothing. That will cause you to think bigger. Even just go for a weekend to a hotel. And if you can't afford to do this stuff now, go on house for sale site and look up $10-20 million homes every day. Look at the homes. Imagine yourself buying that home. Go to a luxury car dealership, look around at the cars, shop for your favorite cars online. Spending time around these sorts of things will make them appear normal to you. And whether you do that in person, which is your ideal situation, maybe you're driving around the neighborhood you want to live in when you're older, you're going to look at cars. If you can't do those things, you can still do it online. You can still spend time with people through podcasts and books, but raise your baseline of what you consider to be normal. Because for example, let's say right now you make $3,000 a month in a job. If you're spending time with 10 people who own businesses, do $100,000 a month, and you had your $3,000 a month job, but those are the only people you could see for the next year, I almost guarantee you that in a year from now, you would be the 11th person doing $100,000 a month in your business. And this principle applies to everything. So the reason that is because you, as a human being, are biologically wired to fit into the group. And if you are below everybody, you will figure out ways to fit in because that's your biologically innate desire. So you can then use that to your advantage. So raise your baseline of what you consider to be normal. Number 4 is using discipline. Oftentimes people will be very motivated to do something. They'll do it for a day or two, and then their motivation will fade, and they don't have any discipline to back them up. The difference between motivation and discipline is very simple. Motivation is doing something when you feel motivated to do so, which is fleeting. You're not always going to be motivated. Discipline is doing something regardless of how you feel. So if you decide that you're going to get in shape for the next 6 months, motivation would be working out and eating healthy on the days that you feel like it. Discipline would be eating healthy and working out every day for the next 6 months, regardless of how you feel. Motivation is people who do not accomplish their goals, and people who rely on discipline are the people who accomplish their goals. If you actually want what it is that you say that you want, you're actually serious about it, discipline's what's going to get you there. Motivation means absolutely nothing, and it will not take you anywhere. Sure, it's great to be motivated, and it's very easy to win on days that you feel motivated, but those are not the days where you're actually making a difference. The days that you're making a difference and catching up on the rest of your competition are the days when you feel horrible and you do it anyway. So let's take a span of 10 days, and let's take 2 people, person A and person B. Person A only works and does the things that they say they want to do on the days that they're motivated. So out of the 10 days, they will work hard 3 of them, let's say. And let's say person B does them all 10 days because person B is a person of discipline. In that 10-day span, person B is already over 300% ahead of person A because they worked 10 days and person A worked 3. So that's 10 days. Imagine that extrapolated over a number of years. And it becomes very easy to see why people of discipline are people who win and people who are just purely rely on motivation are people who lose. So if you actually want what it is you say you want, you need to do things regardless of how you feel. And it's not always going to be easy. It's going to be very, very difficult. But if you actually want to accomplish what you say that you want, you want to be a high value person for your family, for your friends, if you want to be the person who changes your family trajectory forever, you need to be disciplined. There's no easy way around this. You just have to be a person of discipline. And if you're not a person of discipline, then I don't think you want what you say you want as much as you think you do. Number 5 is surrounding yourself with winners. And I kind of tied into this on the point 3. You want to be around people who force you to think bigger. Sometimes when you are the person changing the trajectory of your family, not everyone is going to think big like you do. And that doesn't mean you need to cut them out of your life. You just have to have healthy boundaries and realize in what capacity are people helping you or hurting you. So you can have friends from your small town. And let's say you're doing big things now, you've moved to a bigger city, but you always have your hometown friends. Most of the time, people want you to win, but only as much as them. So if they're here, they want you to win up until right here. And then after you pass them, they no longer want you to win because they're jealous. So this type of person is not a winner. A winner, regardless of how successful they are, is happy for you no matter what. No matter what. If you have a friend that is staying in their hometown, they're happy, but they see you winning and they are genuinely from the bottom of their heart happy for you, that person's a winner because they want to see you succeed, and that person should always have a place in your life. And the same goes for your family. If you have family who maybe they haven't been super successful, but they always have your back and they're always there to support you and they always believe in you, those are family members that deserve to be in your life. But at the same time, just because someone is family does not give them the ability to hold you back. And if there's someone who doubts you when you say your goals, your dreams, what you're going to do, if they're trying to pull you back, they're just being a crab in the bottom of the bucket trying to pull you back in. And that's not to say you have to cut people, friends, family out of your life completely, but you need to establish healthy boundaries. And if there are people like that, you can just say, hey, I don't want your opinion on this. I didn't ask for it. Please stop giving me your opinion on this thing that I did not ask about. We can be friends, we can spend time together, but I don't want your opinion on this business thing I'm doing because I don't think we see eye to eye. And they will respect that. And then you can have your relationship with them and also not be held back by them. So just go over some character traits of winners with you and the types of people that you want in your life. Winners believe in you. Always. Family, friends, they believe in you and they always trust that what you say you're going to do, that you will succeed at. Winners will lift you up. They'll encourage you. They'll always have your back and push you when things are hard. They will lift you up and they will not pull you down. They will amplify you as a human being. Winners celebrate others' success. Even if they aren't successful and they see you succeed, they will celebrate that from a genuine place without jealousy. Winners will help you think big. So ideally, they have accomplished big things and their mere presence and own mindset will cause you to also think big. But even if they don't think big themselves, they will encourage you and cause you to think bigger. If you tell them your goal and they then even have you think bigger than that, even if it's something they've not accomplished themselves. Ideally, like I said, they will have accomplished big things and their mere presence and thought processes will help you think bigger. But just because someone hasn't accomplished big things themselves doesn't mean they cannot help you think bigger. Winners are disciplined and they do what they say they're going to do and they trust themselves. And just a point on this, how can you ever have trust in someone if they do not trust themselves and do what they say they're going to do for themselves? If someone says they're going to the gym and then they don't go to the gym, even though they told themselves they were going to, how do you expect to trust that person if they can't even trust themselves? So winners are disciplined. Winners are not frugal. They do not have scarce mindsets. They have mindsets of abundance. And they're not trying to save coffees every day to wealth. They know that they can become more valuable as a human, more valuable as a business owner, and provide more value to the marketplace and have a mindset of abundance, and they can build whatever it is they want. Winners speak directly and to the point. They do not beat around the bush. They do not speak indirectly and hint at things. They just say what it is that they want you to know, and they speak to the point. And even though speaking to the point can be difficult and it means having tough conversations, people will always respect you for being direct. Doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. Doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful. A person, especially a man of value and someone who respects themselves, if something's bothering them, they will bring it up directly. They'll be respectful about it, but they're not going to beat around the bush and keep things internally and start making lists in their head of everything that you've done wrong. They're going to speak to you about it. So be direct. And just as we went through all those character traits, I want you to think of them in contrast to the character traits of losers. So things that losers do, they're jealous, they talk shit about people behind their backs, and that's a big one. You'll never see winners talking about other people, talking about their goals, their dreams, where they've came from, where they want to go. Losers are people who talk about other people. Losers cheat, they lie, they speak indirectly, they'll pull you down, doubt you, won't believe in you, feel like they're very frugal, they have scarce mindsets, and all this stuff is going to hold you back more than you can imagine. You need to cut people like this out of your life. So just to recap the 5 mental models that I've used from going $100,000 in debt to making millions of dollars living in Dubai in just under a year and a half. Number 1 is operating with relentless speed in all aspects of your life. Number 2 is trusting your gut and trusting your intuition as God's guidance built into you internally. Number 3 is thinking bigger. Set big goals for yourself, attack them, and believe in yourself and you can accomplish them. Number 4 is being disciplined and not relying upon motivation. And number 5 is surrounding yourself with winners and cutting people out of your life who are holding you back. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for taking time out of your wonderful day to watch. If you'd like to build your own high-ticket e-commerce store working directly with me, I will link our calendar link below. If you could please support my channel and hit the subscribe button below, I would greatly appreciate it, as I'm going to be publishing more and more YouTube content this year. And we'll also link my free high-ticket e-commerce Kajabi course below the video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.